Well, good morning. Is everybody ready to start on a waterfall painting today? I've been waiting to do this one for you. I was just doodling on paper, and as you can see, I did some rocks here. I love the way these rocks turned out. I can't wait to show you this. I decided on this sponge because I like the big openness of it, but you guys can use a paper towel, a sponge of any size or kind that you want. And as you can see here, my canvas has been covered in black gesso. And it is totally, completely dry. Now I let my gessos dry at least 24 hours before I start working on them. So you might want to do that too. It really makes a big difference. The way I'm going to start is with my sponge. I'm going to dip into white gesso because I want to get some foliage, some brightness started up here and some foliage. So I'm tapping into the white gesso. Tap just so it gets kind of diffused here. And then I want my lightest part to be here, but I'm going to spread it out some. So we'll just start tapping. And I kind of go around in a circle. I'm not making it real thick, but thick enough. And I do want to come down over the waterfall just a tiny bit. So back into some more white gesso. Like I said, I want this part here to be the brightest. And the white gesso, when it dries, it kind of dries a little bit darker, so I like to put that on heavier. That's going to be a nice glow right there in the center. Next, without cleaning my sponge, I want to go into some gray, just a little bit of gray. Tap, tap, tap. And I'm going to go on these outer edges. I'm just changing the color ever so slightly. Tap on the paper towel. Go into more gray. I like that gray color. That's pretty cool. I want just a little bit like a foliage look down here, so I'm going to just put a little bit there. And I think what I'm going to do is just go into just a tiny bit of black, like a very, very little bit, and tap on your whatever is holding your paint. And go into just ever so slightly in the corners, just to darken that tiny bit. A little bit in here. I want it to look like just a little bit of foliage down here. Yeah, I think that's good. While that gesso is drying up on top, I'm going to move this down so you can see what I'm doing down low here. Now comes the fun part. Oh, this is so fun. Okay, so I have a filbert brush, and what I'm going to do is just go into some of my black gesso and just kind of spread it out here a little bit. We're going to actually double load the brush. So we've got black on one side, and let's do some gray on the other side. So I've got black on one side, gray on the other. And then where your stones are, I'm going to take this and just wipe that chalk off. I don't really need that anymore. Okay, the light side up, and just come in and make little rounded pebbles, kind of stones. And way in the back here, make these kind of small. More paint, excuse me, a little bit of black, a little bit of gray. And when you're doing this, hold your brush, don't hold it like this because it makes kind of, I don't know, not very pretty stones. But if you hold it this way on the edge, it works a lot better and makes some of them larger and some small. And these don't have to be perfect. I mean, this This is just pebbles in the water. More black, more gray. And we're going to do different things with this also. More black, more gray. And just keep repeating this over and over. Sometimes little teeny ones. Don't forget those little itty bitty ones, because they're important. This waterfall is so popular. I mean, just people just love waterfalls. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because it's nature. Everybody loves something about nature. I know I sure do. And just be creative with this. This will look so pretty once we finish it. You will not believe the transformation. So now, so far, this is just all blacks and grays. And up close, up towards the bottom here, you want those to be a little bit bigger because they're closer to you. And you can go over some of the ones you've already done. That's not going to hurt anything. We'll probably go over this a couple times. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. Okay, just take and wipe some of that paint off on a paper towel. There you go. And now I want to go into a little bit of black and white. This time I want white on the top, so this is really going to make it glow. And my light source is going to be here, so I probably want lighter rocks right in through this little area here. So we'll just put a bunch, whoops, yeah, there we go, right side. I need more black. There. So I want the light, the white to be up on top. But I want a few light ones here and there. Yeah, I'm kind of tilting my brush just a little bit like so. Remember those little ones. I don't want too many. I want the edges to be a little bit darker, so I don't want too much light out there. And you can come in now if you've got some that are too dark, too light, you can just come in with some dark paint and just fill in every once in a while. So a little more black. Now I'm just sort of like tidying up a little bit. And if you see some spots that you want to change, if you want, so I was like, let's put a little gray in here. I want some gray stones. Oh yeah, that's nice. Just gray. No black on it, just plain old gray. It just changes the tone, the value a little bit. Wiping off on a paper towel, I'm still going to go into a little bit of white. I still want to highlight a little bit over here. Because remember, the lightest source is coming down this way. And just play with this, you know, and every once in a while just stand back and look at it and see what you think. You know, does it look good? Is it anything you want to change? Is it something you want to do different? Anyway, I think I'm liking this right now, so I think I'll stay with this. So what you're going to do is just clean off that brush. You don't want this paint to dry in it. And next we're going to go into just a solid black. Now this should be dry up on top. Let me check it here. Yeah, that's dry. Okay. So now we're going to go back to the top again. And we're going to make some trees. So I'm just going to go into black, both sides, load the brush, both sides. This is the filbert brush. And I can't remember if I mentioned or not, but all my supplies will be in the description list down below, so you can check that out. Okay, let's have a tree here. I want just a gnarly little tree here. Maybe a branch coming off. A little bit wider here at the bottom. And I'm loading frequently. Okay, how about just one on the other side? How about right over here? Let's have this one coming in a little bit. Load again. I want to go over this just a little bit more because I can see my white is coming through. How about maybe just a little one here? That's good right there. That's enough. Because now I want just a couple on the edges here, a little bit of gray. About one over here. And they can cross over each other. That's fine. And these are just little trees. I'll come through with the liner brush in just a minute and we'll take care of that. Maybe a little one here, maybe one coming off here. And now, and you clean your brush if you want to, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go into my white. And let's have one coming out here. This is fun just to play with these colors. They are very cool. Oh, my hand is not getting in the way. That does happen, doesn't it? When you're pouring this gesso out, it really does not take a tremendous amount. I've got way more here than what I need. It's hard to it's hard to know exactly how much, but it's better to put probably less out and then you can always add more. Okay, that's probably good. I don't want it to be too busy. Next, I want to take my liner brush. And we're just going to wet that brush because now the paint needs to be pretty thin to make these little branches. So I'm going into black first, and I almost want this kind of watery. Okay, and then we're just going to go in and just make a few branches, little ones. You don't need to do a whole lot, but just a few. Kind of looks pretty. Sometimes you want these branches a little bit thicker than what I'm doing here. Just a little bit. You can look at it and kind of tell which branches need to be thicker. And you can always go in and, you know, the neat thing about these working with these gessos, if you don't like something, just wait till it dries and then go over it again. You can do that as many times as you need. So now I'm going to go into a little bit of gray. Clean up these edges a little bit here. Make this kind of runny, almost, not quite like an ink, but almost like an ink. Hope you guys are having a fantastic summer. It's been a very hot summer here so far. Oh my goodness, we've been up in the hundreds, 104, 105, almost all this week. So I'm thinking about Alaska again and going back to the snow. Joking, of course. No, Alaska was nice. I really did enjoy Alaska for the time I was there. I went up there when I was 14 years old, very, very young. My folks took me out of school and drug me up there, and I fought and screamed all the way. But it was really a wonderful experience, one that everybody should go to Alaska at least once in their lifetime. They'll be on scenic overload. It's just so beautiful there. And let's just go into a little bit of white, a few white branches here and there. I graduated high school in Alaska. That was an experience. When I first went up there, I remember when I got off the plane the very first time, I was thinking in my mind, oh my gosh, I'm going to be walking through an igloo to get into the airport. Well, that didn't happen, but it was darn close. So I've just cleaned my brushes now, and I do see I want to just diffuse. I want to diffuse this bottom with a little bit of dark. So I'm taking this brush and I'm squishing it out. See how I'm just squishing it out? Kind of making it fan. And just go into a little bit of black. And I just want to kind of put a little bit of foliage at the base here, just in case some of this shows. Just like it was a little bit of leaves and stuff. Okay. So now you can see top to bottom. Now, wasn't that a fun underpainting? You're going to like the rest of it, I'm pretty sure. Well, thank you for coming by to visit me today. I just really enjoyed my time with you, and I hope you come back when we finish this painting and put all the beautiful color on it. Okay, talk to you later. Bye-bye.